Hey, how you doing? Today we'll have some fun with front-end to create this Berkey form. It's actually a two-column section and it should be responsive as well. So you can see that the image has disappeared at that screen size, which is the mobile. Alright, I've created this folder called form and I've included three files, the HTML, CSS, and the image right here, okay? I'm gonna start with the main section called order. So we'll say main, you'll say order. Then we're gonna have two divs, actually one div and a form. Okay, let's preserve the div for the image, so I'll just call it image. So we'll say div, class of image, and then the image itself, so we'll say img, and we'll say contact.png. Alright, now let's get into the form. We don't have any action, and just front end. Okay, so we'll have an h3 tag in here, showing some kind of title. So we'll say order now. Now we're gonna have to set three inputs: name, email, and quantity. So I'll say input. First one is gonna be text, then a placeholder. Okay. Now I'm gonna copy and paste this one twice. Oh man. Okay. Now the third one, the second one is email, and the third one is a number. Right. I'll add a placeholder in here. I'll say name. And right here, I'm gonna say enter email. Okay. And the last one is a quantity. Okay. And finally, we're gonna have a submit button. Okay, we'll say type submit, and I'm gonna give a class of submit again, and we'll say submit, but this is the last time. Okay, that's it for the markup, I think. Now let's style this ugly layout. Let's see how it looks in the browser. As you can see, we have just the image, and this is the thing related to the form. Now let's get into the CSS. Let's go to that folder, and we'll start with the let's start with the body now. Font family, Helvetica, please, and or maybe sans serif if you don't have this. Let's align the items to the center. We have no margin, no padding, and let's get rid of the horizontal scroll bar by setting the overflow X to hidden. Okay, see how it looks. Okay, and now we're gonna move to the first class, which is the order. We'll say order. We'll set the width to 100%, margin left to 10%, and margin top to 4M. Okay, there it looks like. There we go. Let me check something in here. so it's 100% of width. Now I'll get into the image and I'll set the width to 40%, okay, and we'll float it to the left, okay, and we'll go now to the image img. I'll set the width to 100%. Now what I've done in here is I've set the container of this image, the container which I called image. Well, I think I should change the name to something else. Okay, let's just change the name of that image to container. Okay, I'll say container. Okay, that would look better, I think. And this one, I'll say container. This might look better. Okay, and then, as I told you, the container gets the width of 40% of the whole section, the main section I mean, and the image gets 100% of the whole container. Okay, that's it. Now we'll move on to the form. Set the width to 40%. Now, and we'll float again to the left. Now you're gonna see how things are getting centered quite good, right? So we have this form section getting 40%, the order main section, as well as the image, right? Okay, the next thing is gonna be the color. It's gonna be that kind of coral, maybe. It's gonna be FB 8C63, right? Now we're gonna have a border. Let's say 2 pixel solid. Okay, say FB C63. Let's see what happens now. Okay. Next thing is about the border radius. It's gonna be 7 pixel. Then a padding bottom of 2M and margin top of 3M. Okay, let's see what's going on here. There we go. Now we're gonna need to style these inputs, and we're gonna change their width and their height, their padding, and some kind of that stuff. Okay. And for that, we'll say form input, and I'll set the width to 60%, font size to 25 pixel, padding 5 pixel. Let's take a look now. Okay, it's getting better. Now we'll get into the button in a while. So this is the padding. Now the border will be again 2 pixel solid, and of course the same color which we start with. Then we're gonna need to set the radius to 7 pixel now. Let's take a look. Okay, that's quite better. And finally a margin bottom of say 12 pixel. Right, so get a little bit of space in between. Okay. Now we'll move on to that submit button, and for this we'll say submit. I'll set the width to 40%, font size to 22 pixel, color is the same color, you know, FB8. Okay, and margin top, we're gonna set half M. Let's take a look. Okay, well that's quite better. Now let's set the background and some kind of this stuff. Background is gonna be just white, and we'll change the cursor, the pointer, and we'll set the border to 2 pixel solid FB8 C63, and set the border radius to 5 pixel. Okay, here it is. That's quite better. Now we'll set some styles to the submit button on hover when it's hovered. And for this, I'll just change the background to the color, that orange color maybe, and the color will be white. Okay, here it is. Well, let's have a transition to make it a little bit smooth. So I'll say transition half second is in out. Right, test it. There we go, quite better. Okay, that's cool. Now you can see on laptop screens and bigger screens and maybe some tablets, the layout looks decent. But if you go down to mobile screen, size, I think it doesn't make sense. It doesn't look that great. So let's fix that with media queries. Okay. So I'll just go back to here and we'll say at media query only screen and max width to 768 pixel. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is to get rid of that image. Now the image will no longer appear on smaller size. So for this, I'll just say the container, the whole container, and I'll set display to none. Right? So let's see that. What's wrong with that? Yeah, that screen should be fixed. There we go. It's disappeared. Now we'll move on to something else, and I'll make the form wider by giving it a width of 80%. So I'll say form width now is going to be 80% instead of 40%. Let's just take a look at this. There you go. That's quite better. And the last thing I'm going to do is about the input. So we're going to reduce the font size a little bit so it could fit perfectly in that kind of screen size. Okay. So I'll say form input. Let's say change the font size just to 18 pixel. Alright, here we go. Now there's something that might give the form a better look, which is box shadows. Now if you see what I've done with this one, you can see that it looks quite better right now. It's kind of realistic. So the shadows right here and even in here in the input are making something quite better in my opinion. So let's see how this thing works. Now the first thing is gonna be that container. So I'll set the container shadow to do that shadow thing. Let's say box shadow. Okay, I'll say minus 23 pixel, 22 pixel. I'll explain what this means, these value means. Then minus 17 pixel, and the color is going to be RGBA 00, and here we'll say 0.75. And let's save it. Here we go. Now you can see that the image is getting that cool effect. Now whenever I'm dealing with box shadows and that kind of thing, I just head over onto this website called CSS-matic, which has some cool tools and cool effects, and it can teach you how to make these objects and these stuff working perfectly. Now the first value, which is in here, is about the horizontal length. So if we change that horizontal length to that way, you can see it's kind of the x-axis, okay? And of course the vertical length is about the y-axis. So this is how it works. And I think the third one, which is the blur radius. Now the blur radius, you can notice that the shadow is getting bigger and bigger, but it's getting lighter as you go over to the max value of the blur radius. And then the last one, which is that one, we set it to 0. It's about the spread radius. You can see how it spread the shadow from the container, from the box in here. Okay, that's it. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just get back to my file, and I'm gonna copy and paste this one to the form, so it will have the same thing. There we go. That's my form. It's getting better. Now we'll do some kind of this thing. We'll do the same thing with the inputs, but I'm gonna change it a little bit. And instead, I'm gonna paste it, but I'm gonna change some values. This one, I'm gonna change it to 16 pixel, and this one is gonna be 18. And I think that's it. Okay, if you check it out, there it is. Okay. Alright, that's it. Well, this was useful. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button so YouTube will recommend it to someone else. If you didn't, dislike it and tell me in a comment why or what's wrong, what to remove, what to improve. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.